This tutorial is on the action plan screen. In this screen, there's four main areas. The list of names here on the left, and three sections here in the middle of the screen numbered 1, 2, and 3. The names on the left, one thing you'll notice is that there's numbers beside some of the names, and what that is your 24-week rule. Basically, take for example Julia Wilson, 15 weeks. That means her last intervention ended 15 weeks ago. Now, we want to close off the action plans inside the 24-week rule. Okay, so like you see two clients here, 28 weeks, 29 weeks. That means that if we close off those clients with result employed, we will not get the credit for the result because we've gone past the 24-week rule. So keep an eye on those numbers. Now, the middle section here, numbered 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is opening your action plan. And there's basically 5 fields of information to fill in. And once you have them filled in, you have an action plan. Step 2 are your interventions. Now, every action plan has at least one intervention. Okay? Now, the PAL database, unlike other case management systems, keeps each intervention in the same fiscal. So if you have an action plan start date, the end date cannot go past March 31st. Okay, so every intervention is in the same fiscal. And the reason why I programmed this way is because the PAL database also keeps track of expenditures inside each fiscal. Now, if you have a client that's going to school for, let's say, 2 years, what you would do is make 2 lines or 2 interventions. The first intervention would be in this year, and you hit new and make a new one for next year. So you can make all the interventions you want here. Okay, so delete that line and delete that line. Okay. Step 3 is when you close the action plan, and basically it's just the date it was closed and what was the result: employed, not employed, return to school. Okay. Now, before we start doing an example here of a new action plan, let's just talk about dates. Okay, very important. There's 4 dates to be concerned with here. There's the action plan start date, which ultimately is everything has to happen on or after that date. Okay. There's now down below at the bottom will be your action plan end date, and in the middle are your interventions. Now, the starting date and ending date of the interventions always must be between these 2 dates, between this date and this date. So pretty basic, really. So let's go ahead and create a new action plan. Now, there's no new action plan button on this screen. We have to go back to the client screen. And here in the client screen, you'll notice that we have names that are both in white and pink. Now, the names in white are the same list of names that are in the action plan screen. So if I click on any name in white and click on action plan, it takes me to the action plan screen with their name highlighted. Now, I'll go back to clients. Now, let's choose a name in pink. Now, the names in pink are clients that currently do not have an action plan. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick a name here, like first one, Deborah Adams. Okay. So now that I have the name selected and highlighted, I'll click on action plan, and this dialog box will pop up. The client has no action plan, but you can look at their history or click the new action plan button to create a new action plan button. And when I click new action plan, Deborah's name will be brought over to the action plan screen, like so. New action plan, and there's Deborah, top of the screen. Now we just got a new action plan started here. Now, in order to start the action plan, we have to answer these 5 questions in step 1. Notice that there's a red block beside the name. That red block means that there's missing information, and it's all to do with step 1 here. Okay, so the agreement number could be CRF EI or child care. I'm going to choose EI for this example. Okay, and is the client receiving social, true or false? Is the client currently receiving EI, or is a reachback or non-insured client? So I chose EI, so I'm going to have to say reachback client. Barriers to employment could be none. And notice that the red block just disappeared. Let me uncheck this. Red block is back. So basically, everything in step 1 has to be filled in. Now, back to these checkboxes. If I click on none, it won't let me click on anything else. Uncheck none, I can click off everything I want. Clicking none erases everything. But so that's how that works. So click, click, and click. And there you have it. Step 1 is filled in. Okay. Now, in this example, let's say that the client is starting school next week and it's going to be going until June. So across 2 fiscals. Okay. So here in 2015-16, let's say the client's starting school on the 4th. And like I said, we have to stay inside the same fiscal. Let's say it ends in June of next fiscal. If I click on that now, I'll get an error. Must be in the same fiscal. Okay. So automatically put the date as March 31st. Okay. And so now I know that the client is going to school up until June. So let's create a new line. And this will start April 1st of next fiscal. I'll put the 4th on a Monday and end in June. Let's say June 24th. And when I click out of the box, you'll notice that the fiscal is right here, 16-17. This one's 15-16. And that will be the same client. Now, notice that the red detail button is in red and you have this red bar here. That means we have to fill in the information on the detail screen, but that'll be on another tutorial. Let's just stick with this. Now, you notice that there's a padlock in step 3. We can't click on that. Let's take one of the names from our list, like this one here, Julia Wilson, 15 weeks, and let's close Julia. Okay. Now this ended September 25th, so I know that was months ago, actually 15 weeks ago. And step 3 is locked, but as long as the outcome is anything but in progress, it could be rescheduled, the lock comes off. It could be complete, the lock comes off. But if it's in progress, the lock stays on. Okay, so anything but in progress. So let's go complete, and let's say that this client, the action plan result is, we'll put in today's date. And what is the result? Employed, self-employed, return to school. Let's say that this client is employed. Now, the dialog box says the action plan has been successfully closed. This record will no longer be displayed in the list. So basically what it's saying is after I click OK, Julia will no longer be on this list. Click OK. And Julia has been closed, no longer on the list. Okay? And that's how the action plan screen works.